What's up, everybody? My name is Joe, and this is Alberto, and this is the first official recording of the JNA Everything Bodybuilding and Fitness podcast. Excuse the crudity of our first recording. So, Alberto, it's been a little bit hard to get together, man. Both of our schedules have been crazy, but I said, dude, come hell or high water, I'm going to get this first one under the wraps. So, thank you for getting this done with me tonight and get to move forward from here.
All right, let's get this started.
I know we have a lot of stuff coming on for the show over the next 6 months. I have a lot of guests planned to come on. I'm trying to get you were trying to get Lee Haney, right? We're trying to reach out to Lee Haney.
Lee Haney. I want to see about Vinny Galante if he can come on.
Sure, he would.
I know I had mentioned Johnny Moya.
Oh yeah, Johnny. That's right.
And Jerry Scalisi would be the other one. Bevs.
You can't record?
Yeah. Either that or no tripods or something like that he has.
Maybe the no tripods, but I see shit on Instagram all the time from Bevs.
Right.
All right, so let's not get off track. We want to do this very smooth and quick. So this is just basically an intro to what we're going to do. We talked about some guests we're going to have. I'm going to be doing like little tidbits of stuff in the gym over at Outlift Athletics in East Setauket. So I'll be training clients and going over form and talking about different training splits. And I'm going to go into nutrition a lot, the different, like the diet fads that are out there and all the bullshit. Like, oh, you can do intermittent fasting and eat whatever you want in that little 6-hour window. Like, it doesn't matter how many calories you eat. Like shit like that. I'm going to tackle those things one at a time, which I think is important because even to this day in 2025, I think there's a lot of people just extremely misinformed about nutrition, about training. And, you know, despite having the internet at our fingertips, I think there's too much information and too much consumerism, you know, a lot of commercials and stuff getting people to believe all this different stuff. And you have multi-level marketing with like some garbage supplements that don't do shit.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And there's so many of those, dude. There's so many. It started with Cybergenics, remember?
Remember, yeah.
That did nothing, but that was $200.
Yeah, it was back in the late 80s, early 90s. It was Franco Centuriello was doing the commercials for them. Even he said it because when I met him at the Musclemania in 1992, he even said that he never tried any of that, never worked.
Ooh, that commercial was the best. That aired for like 10 years straight.
Yeah.
I know because I did it.
And I seen the program. It's a ton of giant sets, a ton of supplements. You know, it just makes you believe it's going to really work.
Dude, back in the 80s and the early 90s, 90% of the supplements were garbage.
Remember,
the Joe Weider Mega Mass 2000, Gainers Fuel 2500.
Remember Hot Stuff when that came out?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
People were going crazy for that. And weird thing was it only came in one flavor, which is banana flavor. I don't know who thought of that, but that was it was pretty big back in the day. And it was Metrics when that first came out.
No, when that first came out, it was great.
It was the plus and the base. Remember that?
Oh, God.
It had. Then I heard it had traces of Winstrol in it. I don't know how true that is.
Oh no, come on, that's bullshit. But I'm saying, like when they came out with the formula, the actual Metrics formula, one packet. Back then, it was really good. And then Dr. Scott Connolly sold the company. I don't know if that was like in the early 2000s or mid 2000s. I went to Vitamin Shop and I bought a box of it. Dude, I bought that thing back in fucking 30 seconds.
Yeah.
It was disgusting.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't taste anything like the old formula. They just threw shit together.
Yeah.
So the supplement industry has come a long way, but there's still only maybe a couple dozen of really good supplements that work. But we'll go a whole show into that. So I just want to kind of briefly, you know, talk about your contest history. Try not to go off on crazy adventure stories with Paul Dillette and all that stuff we did the first time. But definitely try to, you know, summarize your first two competitions, who motivated you, and you know, all that good stuff, man.
My high school, Bayshore High School, was holding some bodybuilding shows. The promoter, Bill Leonello, was promoting shows out of the school for 3 years, 1990, 91, and 92, I believe. And I helped out backstage at the shows, and then I always wanted to compete, and I wanted to do the Bodybuilder 91, which is in August of 1992. So I dieted for 13 weeks because they moved the show up a week later because of some event at the school. So it became 13 weeks instead of 12 weeks. And I did the diet myself. I wound up winning my class and the overall. Then from there, I went on to the Musclemania in Philadelphia in 1992. I basically knew who my competition was this kid, Joe Robato, which if he would have continued competing, I felt he would have been Mr. Olympia. That's how it was, you know. So I just did the show for the exposure, just to be on TV because he was on ESPN magazines. Placed third, and that was really it. After that, I continued college, got married, and I always said I wanted to compete one more time. But
yeah, man, be great to see you back up there, dude. Definitely.
Yeah, one day. That's really my contest experience. Been to many shows throughout my years, you know, Night of Champions, Ms. Olympia 1993, a lot of local bodybuilding shows in the area.
We went to that one together, remember?
Yeah, the 93 Ms. Olympia at the Beacon Theater.
I met like 15 different, we met 15 pros, the men's in the lobby. It was crazy.
Al Q Gurley,
Ron Love,
Chris Cormier. We have a picture of them actually.
Oh, Chris is awesome. I met him twice. Coolest dude.
It's funny you say that. When Chris Cormier came to the Powerhouse in Bayshore, I met him at the vitamin store right the corner from my house. He just came just to kind of just look through, and I was walking by and I seen him walk in. I just said hello, and that's really it. You know?
Yeah, you didn't come to that. You didn't come to that when I worked there.
There was that the event Lou Ferrigno was at?
No, it was Chris Cormier and Jimmy Palacia. Okay. Jimmy was fucking asked me to spot him on Skull Crushers with 455.
Yeah,
I thought he was gonna kill me. He's like, dude, you got this, right? I'm like, yeah, don't worry, I got you. I was fucking so scared out of my mind. It was a lunatic.
Funny thing, I've known Jimmy. Oh, it's been probably maybe close to 30 years. I've known Jimmy, and I met him through his cousin Frank. His cousin owns a vitamin company here locally. It's called Nature's Answer, and that's how I met Jimmy. He, on and off throughout the years when he worked for Metrics and Worldwide. I would always go see him at the events. Then he used to train at the gym I work at, and I train at ProFit in Deer Park. I see him, you know, on and off there.
He still comes there?
He still goes there, yeah.
Does he still yell?
Not like he used to. But
quiet now.
You know, for 60-something years old, he still looks put together.
Jimmy Palacia was probably one of the toughest fucking guys I've ever seen in my life. I don't know if you remember the old Dublin Ups in Bayshore, downtown Bayshore.
Yeah.
So I was there, and Jimmy remembered me from the when I spotted him at the thing with Chris Cormier. Right. And I was talking to him. He sees like something at a corner. I was like, wait 1 second. And he ran over in the park. He laid some dude out. Like one fucking punch, came over and started talking to me again. Like nothing happened. He was crazy, but I loved him. He was a really good personality. You know, I'll talk about my contest history also. So you were one of the motivating factors to get me into bodybuilding, you and my brother. Right. My brother had a really good physique. You know, we had like a weight set at the house with 2 different types. You know, we got rid of the old one, got a more advanced one at the time, had a little leg extension, leg curl. I don't know if you remember that thing in my basement.
Vaguely.
We had to sit on the floor to do pull downs.
Yeah.
So I lifted on that for a few years, and then I saw you showed me the tape of the Bodybuilder 91.
Right.
And I think you also showed me the video of Javier competing. You guys motivated me because I seen that. I was like, wow, this is fucking so cool. You know, you're able to put something. The thing I loved about bodybuilding is something that you can apply it to something. So you're working out in the gym, you're just working out, you're getting in shape. But now a show, you're actually applying what you're doing towards something. You're reaching for something, right? Yeah. So anyone that I speak to that's been lifting for a couple of years that I see the genetics on, I'll tell them you should really at least one time either do a show or get yourself show ready and take pictures and then go back up again, because you'll never look the same after you get that body fat down to like 5 or 6%. When you go back up, you do it the right way, you should have less body fat than you did before. Typically. I don't know if you noticed that, but
yeah, that's what I tell some people at the gym.
Absolutely.
You know, I see they have potential. I always tell them, you know, do a show or at least do some kind of a diet where you could see at least a condition you would be at if you were to ever do a show. Mm-hmm. So might hire somebody, and I always tell them, look at their credentials. Don't just hire them because they can tell you I can get you into shape. A lot of times it doesn't work out that way.
Right.
So
So I think, I pride myself on my coaching ability. I don't really take on a lot of people at once because I do a lot of one-on-one sessions in person, but I like to have at least a couple, per season. And it's
yeah,
great. I love that one-on-one communication. I like to see the person progressing and being happy. And someone who's got a little bit of experience is even better because then we can kind of bounce ideas back and forth. I'm not
right.
the type of coach who'd be like, all right, this is what you got to do. My first show was the ANPPC, Natural Metropolitan Brentwood High School. And you were there. I remember that.
Yeah.
And I had no idea what I was doing. I just dieted. I starved myself. And then I think my friend John Lodespoto, the last 5 or 6 weeks, he's like, dude, follow this. Gave me a diet to follow, like actually measuring my food out. And I was looking better and better. But had I maybe done that a few weeks prior to that, then I would have, looked way better. Looking back at the pictures, my first show, I did pretty good, but I didn't know shit. I was running 2 miles a night at the high school. Like, I didn't know anything, dude. So I came in fourth out of 5 guys. And, it was a good learning experience. It was good for me to get my ass kicked my first time, humble me a little bit, and try to get better. That's the whole idea about bodybuilding, is try to come back better.
Right.
So I didn't compete again until 2005 because I had changed careers. I was like kind of lost in limbo for a little bit. And you actually hired me at Bally's as a trainer back in June of 2000. So I had done 5 years of training already at that point. I was getting my groove. I was feeling comfortable. I was over at the Copeg Bally's at the time. And I did a show. I did it was the USBF North Americans. And that was in Utica, upstate New York.
Yeah.
And it was a pro qualifier. So with the natural federations, a lot of them, you just win like a big local show or a big state show. You get your pro card. So I got my pro card. I won the light heavyweight, best poser and overall. And dude, that feeling of winning was just like nothing I've ever experienced
Oh,
before.
of course.
Most amazing feeling in the world.
Yeah.
Because this is something that most people that do bodybuilding, they take it personally, right? You do a show, you don't do good, you're going to take it personally. You win, you're going to take it personally.
Right.
So you got to learn how to lose and you got to learn how to win. So 2006, I did the pro show at that same show a year later. 2006, Natural North American Pro-Am. And the thing is, for that show, I had to coach myself and 5 other people. So I coached my ex-wife, I coached my friend Demetrius and his girlfriend, and I coached my friend Chris. Actually, 5 of us altogether, so 4 of the people. And that was rough. That was really, really rough, dude. That was rough because guess what? I went up last and I made sure everyone was at their best. They got on stage, they did their best. I'm backstage, I'm pumping up. Fire alarm goes off. We all go outside. It's freezing. Pump is gone. Go back in, start pumping up again. I held my pump the second time a little bit. But when I went on stage, I faded. But I was so conditioned. It was the best conditioning I ever had. I mean, I was shredded. And I came in second by 1 point. So me and the guy who beat me, were spread out by 1 point. And me and the guy in third were spread out by 1 point. So they redid some of the prejudging at the night show, and I edged him out barely. And he edged me out. The other guy, Larry, barely. He looked phenomenal.
Yeah.
So it was a great experience. In my first pro show, of course, back then I'm a young kid. I'm an egomaniac. I took it personally. This is bullshit. Blah, blah. But sitting back on it, let some weeks come by, lick my wounds. I'm like, all right, let's do this again. So 2007, I did the USBF Natural Baltimore. And I worked with a famous natural bodybuilding coach at the time. And he had me 3 or 4 weeks out. I looked unbelievable, dude. That's probably the best I've ever looked in my life for that show. The combination of size and conditioning.
Right.
As a natural bodybuilder, I got on stage at 187. And for me, that was pretty big because usually at my most shredded, I'm like between 180 and 182. So I was thicker. But what happened was I was too aggressive, like telling him, come on, we got to come in bigger. And my conditioning faded. So that day, I was not at 100%. Plus, we were backstage trying to coordinate everything. Demetrius and Chris were with me. We're trying to coordinate what to do. They're like, pros line up. So we're panicking, running, putting oil on, eating a muffin, like trying all this different stuff. water everywhere from the cortisol dump.
Really?
So here's the thing, though. So I was angry and pissed off. I knew that I wasn't going to be in the top 4 or 3. So I kind of relaxed a little bit. I ate something and relaxed. I went back to the night show. Everybody was like, why did he place, 6th out of 8th? It doesn't make any sense. Or 7th out of 9th. Because I looked so much better from the water being released. So it was a
Yeah.
combination of a cortisol dump plus me pushing a little bit too much to come in fuller. So that was a really good learning experience. But that was my best ever, like 3 weeks out, not the day of the show. So, the more shows you do, the more you learn.
Right. Right.
So then after the Baltimore show, I got pissed off. I'm like, I'm gonna fucking come back and I'm gonna win one of these damn pro shows. I'm gonna win one. And I trained like never before, dude. And December 28th, 2008, I attempted a sumo deadlift with 560 and I blew both my quads. So I tore both of my quads right off the bone. Just absolute devastation. Just everything's done. The orthopedics like you'll never bodybuild again. And then I want to give a shout out to Generations Physical Therapy in East Islip to Kevin, because he told me the day I walked in, we'll get you back on stage. And there's a lot of stuff in the middle that happened that I'll get to in another episode. But basically, 18 months after the quad tear, I did Mr. North Carolina because I had moved to North Carolina with my ex-wife. And I did the NPA Mr. North Carolina. And I won the middleweight class, best poser and overall for that show. And that was another great, just like, sometimes when you peak for a show, everything goes right and everything goes right backstage. That was one of those shows.
Right.
So that was great. That was the best conditioning of my life, but I was like 179. I was like flat as a pan. I was flat as a pancake. I managed to fill out the last minute just enough that everything was popping, but I was shredded. You see, my glutes were just carved out. Like I was really lean.
Yeah.
But actually, shout out to Dave Pocinella because he helped me out a lot, like getting ready for that show. The last couple of weeks, he's giving me keep pushing. So I always need that extra set of eyes. So then time went by. A lot of stuff happened in the middle. Like I said, we'll go through that again. But basically, I did one more show, 2023. I did the NPC Long Island. And I didn't expect myself to do great because I had so many injuries. I have a completely torn tricep, calf. I have a lot of symmetry issues because of the tears. So I didn't do as well, but I didn't look the way I fully wanted to. I look great for everything that I've been through from that time to Mr. North Carolina to this show. I look phenomenal. But for me, no, I needed to go a little bit further, I think. So I may get back on that stage one more time before I'm 60, but not anytime soon. Like you said, that dieting is just rough. It's really rough. So after the Mr. North Carolina, a lot of stuff went down that I'll go over in another episode. But basically, I was happy that I looked the way that I looked for what I went through. But for my standards, I was still about 10 or 20% less than what I think I could have been. So I probably have one more in the books. I know with my injuries and symmetry issues, I'm not looking to freaking win the whole thing. I'll get up there. I'll probably do the classic over 40. Not anytime soon, though, because like we were talking about, that diet is rough. Like getting yourself down, it's not a big deal to go from 20% body fat to 15, but to go from 15 to 10 is rough, and 10 to 5 is torture. So,
Oh yeah.
it's not an easy transition. So what would you like to see in the future for us to like work on and talk about? What do you think are some important things that are lacking out there as far as information?
Well, I would like to talk about our experiences training, different styles of training that we did through the years, the high volume, the high intensity, the 2 or 3 hour workouts we used to do, and then the 40-minute workouts we do,
Those are crazy.
What the importance of a training partner. I feel like that's very important. Certain stages of your, I don't know what you would call it, bodybuilding career.
Well, just like, if like between intermediate and early advanced, because we didn't just start in the beginning. We trained together for like almost 10 years.
Yeah.
We were at Golds and Deer Park from 92 until the early 2000s. So
remember, old training partner Juan.
Does he still lift?
On and off, because he mostly focused on his business now. But he does get out to a gym whenever he can with his son. and still trains. Not like he used to.
Well, dude,
Same
me,
thing. Some
the
injuries
three,
throughout the years.
the three of us were like, we went to
Yeah,
war, like in that gym, dude.
you
Like,
know.
I'm,
Well, no, we when we were first both working at Bayshore's Ballet.
oh, that's what it was.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah,
we
yeah,
would
yeah.
we would leave 10 o'clock and then go straight to the gym.
Yep.
Have our
Yeah.
last meal around 8 o'clock and then be ready.
Isn't it amazing what you could fucking do when you're young, dude?
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's night and day. You get injured, you just brush it off, come back the next day.
And
Like,
and that's what I don't see now with a lot of the younger kids at the gym is that they don't utilize their time right, especially in training. They spend a lot of time talking on the phone and kind of just not really having the workouts they should, and then they compensate that with some gear and stuff like that. And
well, that's the frustrating part is because it's a twofold, right? We have the internet, which back in the day, all we had was magazines, books, and
yeah,
American Muscle Magazine and Lee Haney's Championship Workout.
yeah,
Now you turn on your phone, you have fucking thousands and thousands of pages, and you have Instagram and you have Facebook and all these things that can like corrupt some of these kids who are very like simple-minded and vulnerable. They just see something, they want to jump on it. Like
yeah,
I've
yeah.
had people come up to me like back when I was in my 30s, still going to bars and stuff. After I hopped on gear, which was after 2012, first thing they say to me is not what how do you train, but what do you want?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
no fucking like, hey, what's your nutrition like? How do you train? What do you want? Oh, dude, like that's all they want to talk about is drugs. Like,
right, right.
dude, it took me a long time to really understand with that stuff. I know you stayed natural, which I always give you a lot of props for, which
Yeah,
is phenomenal. But dude, less is more. Way less is more. Way less is more.
it's funny. Like at the gym, anytime you walk in, I'm always eating. So at 52, I've had people say, "Oh, you want TRT, anything?" I said, "Nope." My secret, and I tell you this, has always been the wife's cooking. Okay, it was 12 weeks, 13 weeks of boiled chicken and rice. That's what I
Dave
did.
Dave Pusinella would love this because Dave only
Yeah,
goes by the six foods that work. Have you ever
yeah.
seen his video on that?
No, no, I never have. No,
It's grilled chicken, which he always boiled,
right.
tuna fish, tuna fish,
Yeah,
egg whites, oatmeal, banana, sweet potato. There's really seven because then he would do broccoli too or whatever, but
yeah,
6 or 7, yeah. So that's all he ate for 20 weeks, 16 weeks.
yeah. My diet for my two shows was so bland and simple. But something like even now, I could still eat boiled rice and chicken. I would still love it like it was the first time.
Here's
Yeah,
the thing, man. Once you get your brain used to eating foods that aren't so damn tasty, that's the norm for you.
yeah,
You're,
yeah.
you adjust to it when you do a contest diet. And when I did Mr. North Carolina 2010, I really was eating the same couple of foods. Instead of tuna, I ate tilapia. So I
Right.
was doing tilapia, grilled chicken, eggs and egg whites, oatmeal, and sweet potato. That was it the whole time, 20 weeks. I was in the best shape of my life.
Yeah, yeah.
It's so inconvenient. But I
See,
definitely feel when I had the time to cook everything and I did everything that way, I looked better. Some salt, like pink Himalayan sea salt, a little bit. That's fine. You need salt if you're sweating. But the thing is, if you're taking so much of that shit and you're bloated and holding water, you're not really getting an idea of what you're looking like. You
yeah,
have water over the muscle. So you want to see the body fat come off. You don't want to restrict sodium, but the blander, the better. I would do a little bit of hot sauce. That was all I did.
yeah, yeah. I feel like
But
for salt, the last meal before a workout, a little higher in sodium, pumps are great.
oh yeah,
They're amazing.
100%,
You know,
100%.
and I try telling people that and they don't understand that. You know, they rely more on pre-workouts, which it serves a purpose, but
It's addicting.
yeah, they'll mix a pre with a pump and they take it right before the workout. I said it has to be in your system for some time for it to actually work.
Bro, if you
Right
go
away.
on if you go on online right now and go to Amazon and just type in the word pre-workout, tell me how many come up.
Thousands.
Yeah, that's the answer. Pre-workout.
I had a guy, not to get off the topic, but talking about protein and pre workout. There was a guy at the gym. He was promoting his own. Um, it was a protein powder that he had, and he's like, "Oh, this is great." I'm looking at
Oh
the
God.
packaging. There's really no content whatsoever, no amino acid profile. It just was a plain packaging. So he wanted a shake, and I said, you want me to use your protein pack?" He goes, "I'm not using that." Right there, I knew it was both. Right there, I knew it didn't work.
And I just want to sell that. I don't want
Yeah,
to drink it.
he was promoting that like it was the next best thing. And when I asked him,
Dude.
"Do you want me to use your protein pad?" He goes, "No, I'm not using that."
Listen, there's you go in the market, man. There's maybe 10 things. Like people say, well, what can I take? What's good?
Yeah,
We're gonna go over that in another video, and I want to start telling everything now. But basically, like I keep it simple
yeah.
because there's more shit out there. It's a lot of stuff to get confused about. All right, so listen, man, I want to wrap up today. This is a perfect timing. All right, guys, thank you so much for listening. Please share the video. This is literally the first video. Again, I'm sorry for the ghetto setup. This is literally how we had to do it today. I mean, I had no time. He had no time. We're going to do it however we can. But thank you guys for listening, and hopefully you guys like it. And next time we'll do something a little bit more in detail. Thank you, Alberto. I
Thank
appreciate it.
you.
And I guess the next episode will be in 2067. All right, man. I'll hit you up later, okay?
Okay.
Have a good
Take
one,
care.
buddy.
Thanks.